Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 160 is brought to you by Jesse Chan, Deborah Alford, and Lindsay Schley, some of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are going to recap what we've been up to on our islands lately and talking about Animal Crossing's Game of the Year nomination. So to begin, hello Sergio, how are you doing?
Hello, Chuy. I'm doing pretty awesome. I'm wearing my KK Slider jacket. It's not official,
What?
it's from Redbubble, but it is cold enough for once that I need to wear it, and I love wearing it. It's my favorite piece of clothing that I own. I love it.
You're gonna need to send me a picture of this, because I didn't even know you had a KK Slider jacket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want
I'll
to
show you.
see.
And then Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing good too. I just was reminded by Sergio that I went to Target over the weekend and got myself one of the boys' t-shirt or men's t-shirts that says "Deserted Island Getaway" and has the Nooks all
Oh,
on it.
yes.
I'm
That's
excited about
awesome.
it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm super jealous of that. That's really cool.
Mhm.
I've been kind of like eyeing that stuff at Target ever since, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna put some of this on my wish list here. But I'm
Nice.
not confident. There's like a boy's sweater that looked pretty cute, kind of like
Yes.
had a bunch of different faces of characters on it and everything.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I'm gonna fit into like an extra large boy's sweater
See if
or
you
an
get that.
extra large,
Yeah.
whatever the option is. I'm not confident, so
Well, and it
I'm
may
sad
not even
about
be
that.
available, so don't worry too much.
That's true too. They've been selling out like crazy. There's that really rad DJ KK Slider shirt
Mm,
or DJ KK shirt,
yeah, I want
and
that one.
yeah, it looks so cool. But it's all sold out in my size.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was there for like 1 second in my size, and that was fine. But yeah, after that, it was over. Cool. So I want to talk to both of you about what you've been doing in your games lately. I don't know. I feel like every time we hit a new month or something, we see more and more players kind of coming back, especially as we're getting closer to that Toy Day season. We saw way more come back for the autumn updates and things. And now that December's here, I think a lot of people are really looking forward to playing the game every day. So I want to, just check in with you, see what you've been up to. And I guess, Sergio, do you want to kick us off here?
Yeah, definitely. And you're right. I've been a little more enticed to definitely play every day and at least go to the store, and buy the daily toy that you get. I haven't been
Hmm.
doing a lot of extra in terms of daily play. Um, I guess at least not in my island technically, because what I've been doing is I've been going to Dreams. I've actually been going
Ooh.
to Dream Islands from some people on Haken, where they post their dream address on our Discord, and I just do a little video and put it up on YouTube for them. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've
Nice.
been seeing your videos pop up, and I'm like, wait, when did Sergio start doing this? This is awesome. So yeah, I guess when did you start posting them up and everything?
I want to say it's been about 2 weeks, and I figured, oh well, I'll try it. I'll try a few, but I've actually got really into it. Like, I really like exploring the islands for people because they can get a different perspective, maybe something they didn't think about, or a way that somebody would look at their island that they didn't think about. So I'm trying to do that. I try my best not to miss anything on their island. If they have six player houses, I'm going to all of them. So yeah, it's been fun.
Wait, so what's
That-
your YouTube? I need to follow you.
I think it's just my name. Yeah, maybe we can add it to the show notes.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll add it for sure. I think I had it added for a while, but I don't remember. I'll have to double check, but I'll definitely make sure it's in there so people can check them out. But yeah, I've watched some of them, funny enough, and the other day I got to visit Waffles from our Discord just
Oh,
to,
nice.
you know, why did I visit? Oh, she was gonna give me some DIY recipes that I was kind of looking for.
Mm.
And while I was there, I was like, I've actually wanted to come to your island for a long time because you post these photos of it and it looks really awesome. And
Yes.
so she kind of gave me a tour through everything. And yeah, it was really cool. And then she mentioned that you had already visited like the dream address and posted it up, and um, I guess she's done a winter theme for the one that you got to visit. So I've
Yes,
been
it was
really
very
excited to
nice.
see it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's cool. I guess how are you feeling about the dream suite in this game now that you because I feel like every time this conversation comes up, you and Nina hadn't really quite used it too much. Um, but yeah, how are you feeling about that whole functionality now?
I like it a lot. Honestly, hardly any complaints. I just kind of wish maybe we could use the tools while we're there,
Mm.
just to explore the island a little bit easier. But
Mm.
honestly, other than that, I just love it, and I like the way it's implemented. We can go to random islands now, but there's plenty of people on Haken that I want to visit.
Yeah, yeah, that's one thing that's like kind of remained consistent with the previous versions where people who really set up their islands or towns to be explored, they would often put out some clothing for you to change into. They'd put out the tools that you would need to get around and everything. So,
Right.
the people who are very into the dream, I guess the dream suite and that thing, like they
Yeah.
do a really good job of preparing their islands for that. But at the same time, I'm just like, it's a dream, Nintendo. Can't I just dream that I have these things in my pocket
Yeah.
already? Like, just hook it up with a ladder and a pole vault, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
You know. um, so yeah, it's kind of funny that that's still just a little bit of a barrier to you when you go and visit somebody. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever fix that. I feel like they should be able to, but I'm no game developer. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to that stuff. So I just hope that
Yeah.
they can make it cool. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you've been able to dream a lot more and spend some
Yeah.
time with that.
It's
Yeah.
been awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Nina, what have you been up to on the game?
A lot. I've been playing so much more in Kill Hall and not just kind of checking in, but really working on like developing different parts of my island. I ordered a bunch of very real and official amiibo cards off of Amazon. They're not they're not bootlegs at all. They're very real. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've been doing a kill haul, overhaul. I've got almost a whole brand new lineup of villagers for the winter. Um, their new houses are so much fun to look at. I love looking through and seeing like which villager I want to come, but also do they have a good house? So then I can
Mm.
make their yards really nice. And I've been getting out like the path tool and kind of reworking different areas of my island, which is so much fun to do. Like that's kind of my favorite thing. So it's been nice to be inspired like that again. So new villagers, new items, which are so fun. And I think I mentioned before, I can't remember, but I have a new secondary character that I'm working on building her house up too.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
awesome. So, I guess which villagers have you chosen for Keel Hall so far?
Okay, let me pull up my app. So I finally let Annalisa go. She had been my tarot card reader for a very long time, and I've had her picture for a very long time too. So I figured it was time to let her go when I decided to do a secondary character to be the tarot card reader and make her house like kind of spooky witch vibes, cottage witch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I moved Annalisa's house down towards the Able sisters and turned her yard into kind of like a cloth making zone. And I'm moving
Mm.
Blanche in there because Blanche is like a white ostrich, but not actually an ostrich. And she's got this really cool like straw roof house with kind of like a teal color house or door or something like
Mm.
that. So she's gonna be like the fabric maker for the Able sisters. Um, I've moved in Felicity, who is adorable. She's a cat,
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of the cats, but just something about her like floofy hair and her bangs. I really, really like her. I'm excited to get to know her more. Julian, I've moved in Julian the unicorn. Sergio, you had
Ooh.
him for a little while, right?
Yes, no, he's permanent.
He's permanent. Nice. He's adorable. I've never
Yeah.
had him before. Oh, I also moved in Lionel, who is a lion and amazing, and I can't wait to have him on my pirate crew. But I keep giving him he's been in my island for a couple of weeks now, and I keep giving him like door plates in the mail and in person, trying to gift them, and he will not put something on his door. And his door is like one of the really blank ones. It's really
Mm.
bothering me. I wonder if I need to like move him out and move him back in. Have either of you had problems with this?
Hmm.
You know, funny you mentioned that because I was just thinking the other day that I have not given any of my villagers a door plate in a very long time.
Mm.
And it was mostly a realization that I'll kind of get into a little bit, but I've been crafting a lot of different things that I hadn't crafted, and a lot of those are like wreaths and
Yeah.
things. So when I was crafting them, I was like, when was the last time I gave any of my villagers like a door plate to put on there? I should probably fix that. So, I mean, that said, I haven't given anybody anything, so I don't know if
Mm.
I have that problem with anybody.
Well, I'm going to keep trying. I'll keep you guys updated. Wreaths and door plates are usually one of the first or second gifts I give to a villager as soon as they come to Keel Hall. I give them a little welcome letter, and I like to give them a little door plate that either matches their house or initiates them into my pirate crew. Um, so I don't know. I'm just kind of bummed that it's not working since it's been such a big part of like Keel Hall culture. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. If anybody else has had that problem, let me know.
Yeah, that seems pretty strange. I'm surprised that it's an issue at this point, but I feel like we just keep running into some little bugs here and there where it's just like this isn't quite working
Mm.
quite right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I still notice it a lot in the plaza whenever KK Slider's around. Like all of my villagers could just kind of freeze up when they're there.
Oh.
They either like walk and sit down, or they're just like standing next to KK Slider awkwardly and not moving at all. I found the way to fix that is me like literally pushing them off the plaza, and then they just start walking again.
Oh.
But sometimes they'll just like walk right back and just stand there. They don't do
Ugh.
anything.
They want to watch
Yeah,
him up close.
I guess so.
They want to make sure
And
he's
it's
actually playing the guitar.
yeah, and I mean I'm okay with it sometimes because they do just kind of like you can still see them whenever you start the show. They're just kind of standing there, not dancing with
Yeah.
the rest of the characters. But sometimes I do push them out, and I'm like, I hope they walk back so they can like watch this show with me. So, and I made this a little bit of a habit actually. Like I like to watch the concert with my villagers these days. So
Mm.
if I
Mm.
log in because I'm like, oh, I need to go get my song. I haven't done that yet. I'll walk by the plaza, and if nobody's there, I just kind of go and do something else and wait for my villagers to eventually get to that spot. And pretty consistently, I get like 3 or 4 of them in the plaza to
Oh,
watch the show
nice.
with
Oh,
me.
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, there's funny little broken things like that all over the game where I'm just like, I think the AI is not quite right here. Does that happen to you, or is it just me, like with the plaza?
I like Kill Hall apparently is not a big music scene. There maybe one or two people watching KK. Maybe. He's often playing to an empty room on Kill Hall. So I don't know. But I also don't go to his concerts like every single Saturday. So I wonder if they kind of read off of you, like maybe because you go so often,
Mm.
the villagers go with you. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like they're kind of good about following the paths around your town.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe because I feel like mine has like a pretty clear path that takes you to the plaza from their little residential area.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, I've never had like a huge amount of issues getting my villagers to hang out at the plaza. They're there all the time,
Yeah.
basically.
Interesting.
Yeah. Um, Cool. So I don't know. I think you're doing some awesome things on your island. It's good to know that you're changing it up. I'm excited to
Yeah.
go meet all your villagers now because I did notice like the lion that you mentioned, Lionel, right?
Oh, he's
Um,
amazing.
he's really cool.
He's
I'm
like
kind of jealous, and I want
formidable.
a lion now.
The lions are cool. I just wish there were girl lions.
I know there should be. They need to add more characters. Nintendo, we're
Mm-hmm.
always, there aren't any turtles. Not even Tortimer.
It's true. It's
Turtle
true.
villagers would be a dream come true for me. You know. So as far as like what I've been up to, I've got a bunch of things, of course. A lot of them are very like self-given tasks that I don't think anybody else should care about. It's just me being crazy and getting into that like completionist stage of the game. But the first thing is I've been crafting one of every single DIY that I have.
Mm.
So basically, I went through my list of DIYs, and any one of them that just didn't have a check mark, I favorited, and then I took up off all of my favorites that I had crafted.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I've just been going through the list. I think I'm under 50 at this
Wow,
point
50
of
left.
things. Yeah, and I have a lot of DIYs at this point. The craziest ones are, of course, the gold items and any item that takes gold. I've done the math. I need 83 gold nuggets to craft whatever
Oh my
needs
gosh.
gold
Oh.
at this point. I have 15 at the moment, so I'm back to hitting my rocks every day, which
Mhm.
I'd stopped for a little while and I kind of needed to get back into it because I was out of stone pretty much. So it's good I'm back into it, but I really need some gold at this point. But I haven't gotten any since I realized how many I needed. So
Wow.
it's going to be a rough climb for sure. Um, the other thing, kind of naturally, of course, it's December now. I am buying clothes like crazy and the
Mhm.
toys. Like the shops are amazing right now.
They are.
Every, yeah, every day I'm excited to walk into Nook's Cranny and see, is my tent going to be here? I need to know which tent is on my island because I don't know at this point. And then I go into Able Sisters. That's probably my favorite shop at the moment.
Mhm.
It used to
Mhm.
be kind of like, the summer stuff is whatever. I would live for the winter. Come on, give me the cold weather outfits. And now that we're there, I'm buying out the shop on a regular basis. The first 2 days of December, I want to say I spent like 300,000 bells on clothes just by going to your island, and Nina, and Tab's
Mhm.
island, and
Mhm.
just buying everything at my island as well. So I've loved that. It's really fun to see all of the new items. The stuff that I was really waiting for is around, so I'm happy to do that. Um, the other thing I'm doing is I'm working to complete all of my Nook Miles missions, I guess.
Mm.
What do they call those? Like, what's the official name? Um,
Mm.
I don't even know. I just call them Nook Miles missions these days.
That sounds good.
But yeah, yeah. So basically, the ones that got me really worried right now are Angling for Perfection and You've Got the Bug, which are the catch a million bugs and fish to get these. It's not actually a million, but it's still an insane number. It's 5,000 to get like the final one.
Yeah.
And with the fish, I'm looking at it right now. I'm at 2,089, so I'm like not even
Oh man.
halfway.
Well,
Not
is angling for perfection not the one where you like can't let a fish go?
No, that
What's
is the
that one called?
Cast Master.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I got that one a while ago. It took
Mhm.
me several tries, but I eventually got it.
Nice.
But yeah, the angling for perfection. I'm not halfway with that. So 2089, I've got a long ways to go. The other one is the bugs, which I'm not even at 2000 with these. I'm at
Mm.
Oh.
1498 and I
Out
have
of
to get to 5,000.
5,000. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
And I'm just like, I'm crafting so many bug nets all the time. It's insane. But I've
Man.
basically, the way I've been playing these days is as I walk around, any bug that I see, I go for it. Because I'm just like, I'm never going to catch them if I don't. It really takes some effort to get to 5,000, especially looking at what my numbers are at right now. I've got a lot of work ahead of me.
Gosh, even with all of our bugs offs that we've had, we.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I now I feel like I didn't even do the bug off at this point with the amount of bugs that I've caught. I'm just like, I need to put some work in here because I'm really slacking.
Wow.
Yeah. The other ones, I feel like they're pretty doable. That these will just take a really long time. The deep dive one, which is the creatures, the sea creatures that you can catch for it by diving, that one's actually not as bad as both the bugs and the fish. I think
Right.
it's mostly because there's like half the amount of diving creatures to collect than bugs and fish.
Right.
But I don't know, the bugs and fish number is obscene. 5,000, like the deep dive one is half of that. It's 2,500,
Mm.
and I'm already at 1,228. So I'm just
Oh,
like, I'm gonna be done with that one pretty quickly, I feel.
yeah. It sounds like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean basically I count down the days till I can catch a new bug, new fish, new whatever, so I can complete the Pokedex as you call it, the Critterpedia. um, oh, okay, here's the other thing. The other completely insane one is the DIY tools mission. I think in total you have to craft 3,000 tools.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
3,000 tools. Do you know how many branches it takes to make 3,000 tools?
Tell us, Joey. You did the math.
I know that when I hit 1,000, oh, it's 15,000. 15,000
Oh.
branches. And I'm just like, I shouldn't have sold all those branches that I got out of
No.
the trees
Yeah.
when I was looking for acorns and pine cones now. And I understand why Emily said, "Give me your branches." Because she's
Wow.
also trying to do the completionist route like
Wow.
I am.
Nice.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's kind of been my latest obsession with the game, as you can tell, since that was the longest segment of my little to-do list here. Catch everything, people. If you want 100% Animal Crossing,
Gotta be a
I'm
Pokemon
currently in the
master.
lead for the speed run right now.
Speed run.
Of speed running Animal Crossing. It's only been what, 800 hours of me trying to
Oh
do
my
this?
gosh.
So better watch out, speedrunners. Can't beat my time.
The slow
uh,
run.
it's the slowest run. So my next question for you both is there anything that you're looking forward to this month? Nina, anything you're looking forward to?
So many things. I love playing Animal Crossing right now, and I love the fall. I had so much fun in the fall, and I'm gonna have so much fun in the winter too. But I'm especially looking forward to the snowfall. I've had the
Mm.
first snow on Keel Hall, and I just kind of stood still and watched how the snow like kind of cascades onto the well, not cascades, lands on the rooftops really gently, and then if it hits the ground it kind of melts into the ground. And I took some time to try and get a picture of one of the big snowflakes that like kind of goes in front of your camera a little bit
Mm-hmm.
closer, you know. And they look super cool if you can catch one of those. They're like fluff.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see the blizzard when it comes through, because I want to see a
Mhm.
like snow differentiation. Like I want to see heavy snow days
Right.
and
Right.
lights. I hope that they have that like the rain. I don't know. So I'm just
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited. And snowmen. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, there's so much stuff coming.
Yeah.
And the snow is delightful. I kind of told people before it started snowing, there's this period of time in Animal Crossing that a lot of people I find kind of forget about, but it's basically like right now where the snow hasn't stuck yet. You've still got like your grass is fading, your trees have all kind of turned to that brown, crispy color. And now we're getting just light snowfalls and things I love the weather. I
Mm-hmm.
love that weather this time of year where it's not quite sticking yet and you're
Hmm.
just getting some snow. It feels magical. It feels very special when it happens. And I got lucky and I got my first snowfall, I think kind of like day one of December. Um, I've gotten a couple snow days after that, but yeah, just walking around in it where it's kind of like foggy a little bit. It's so cool. I'm really excited for more people to see it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sergio, I guess what are you looking forward to in the game?
I definitely agree with you and with Nina. The snow coverage is gonna be so nice, and I'm already planning ahead. I know I'm gonna change the color of my paths to like a bluish wood to go with the
Mm.
Ooh.
snow. It's gonna look so nice. It's gonna look so cool. Um, yeah, I just want that, and I want the change of atmosphere because, yeah, it was very nice during fall. You know, a lot of orange. It looked very nice. I say that it looked spicy, and the good kind
Mm-hmm.
of spicy, the one that I actually like. But it I don't know. I feel like it dragged on a little too much. I know, Chu, you're gonna disagree. Uh, so I'm enjoying the change from orange to blue, and I want it all. I want it just to be like all covered in snow. It's not too cold here, so at least it's gonna be cold in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny you brought that up just because like I am definitely that person who's like adamant against like skipping autumn or Thanksgiving and everything. I'm just like, no, I need you all to appreciate this because it's wonderful. Forget the snow right now. Like let's live in the now
Yeah.
in this non-snowy orange paradise. But I'm gonna say I'm finally ready for snow now. I keep kind of thinking about way back in basically when this game was announced and everything. I think of that time where we got to see those short little clips of the winter and autumn. They were the
Yes.
smallest portion of the trailers and any of the footage that we got early on. And all of those clips were just magical to me. I loved them. So I'm ready for it. Like I said, I'm not one to rush through autumn. I always want to savor it, but now I'm ready for the new snow stuff to come because like a lot of the new December things don't really happen until it starts snowing. I don't
Right.
know if you both have noticed,
Right.
but like the new DIYs aren't really available yet. The new I think we there's one new bug this month that hasn't shown up
Mm-hmm.
during this time, so I think you have to wait till it snows for it to actually show up. And yeah, I want to start getting into that point in the game where I'm busy again trying to collect everything, because that's always the fun part for me. Just getting everything possible.
Right.
Yeah. So the snow's going to bring that and it'll be fun. And especially like the new events that are coming up. I want
Mm-hmm.
to see the toy day. I want to see the
Yes.
countdown. I
Yes.
want to celebrate the countdown with all of
Mm.
you.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's like back to back
Mm-hmm.
holidays here.
Yeah.
Like we just came off of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Toy Day's really not far away. And then just a week after that is the countdown. So it's a great time for Animal Crossing. This is what I always tell people. Winter, autumn and winter, those are the times to play for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one more question for both of you, and that is, are you playing more in December than previous months? We kind of talked about this way back in November when that month rolled around, but it seemed like, at least Nina and I were playing a little bit more. I think you two, Sergio,
Yeah.
maybe? I
Hmm.
forget. Um, but yeah, now that we're getting into December, things are seemingly picking up for more players. Are both of you picking up the game a little bit more? Sergio, do you want to start?
Yeah, I have been, and part of that is like I said, the dreams that I've been going to, but because of that, I'm kind of getting back into the regular game, like the single player part of it, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been playing more, even without the cream of the crop of the winter events is still happening. I've been playing more, so I'm definitely gonna be playing even more once those events really kick off.
Mm.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I think, the events always just like bring people back. As much as like it's good to have that base gameplay available for people, I
Hmm.
think, whenever Animal Crossing has something special going on, I feel like it intrigues people and gets them to check in again.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like that it mimics real life like that. We have regular kind of boring days where we're going through our routine and then like bam, there's holidays that all of a sudden you have to get ready for and you have to get presents and decorate and then everybody's eating like, it's very similar to real life, which is why it's so much fun.
Yeah, yeah, and I think, of all the years to have this is a great one to kind of get that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, Nina, are you checking in more and playing for longer?
Definitely. I mean, like you said earlier, I've been super excited to shop every day and visiting Friends Island and checking out what seasonal clothes they have. I know it won't last forever. Eventually, I'll have seen all of the new seasonal clothing, but it's still
Hmm.
just so much fun. I love dressing up in the warm clothes too. I'm trying to save like the real heavy coats for when there's actually snow so I
Right.
don't get sick of them. So I'm kind of trying to stick with kind of fall stuff for as long as I can. Um, but that's been so much fun. But I am kind of leaving November and October with some regrets. And I have been playing more. I've been really proud of how often I've been playing, and I haven't been doing my weird backwards time traveling that I end up having to do sometimes. Um, but even with all of that extra playing that I was doing, didn't get all the acorn recipes. I didn't get all the
Mm.
mushroom recipes. I still have not seen fog on Keel Hall.
Oh.
And it's just, I'm kind of bummed that all this extra effort I put into the game wasn't brought back to me. So I'm really looking forward to December and hoping that this won't happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people really struggle with the recipes during the autumn. I don't know, I feel like we didn't really hear as much of a struggle with this from the Southern Hemisphere players, and
Mm,
to me that's like pretty crazy because when the game came out it was like pretty into the autumn season for them, so
mhm.
it wasn't like they were going to be easy to get all of those recipes. There were so many recipes on top of like the game being brand new and having a ton of new recipes to get. So I feel like if anything, it must have been really hard for them, but somehow, I don't know, I guess we should ask them and see how they felt collecting the autumn recipes because
Hmm.
here in the northern hemisphere it's been insane. I think more than ever, a bunch of people missed out on so many of the recipes, a lot more than usually do.
Right.
So, yeah, I wanna hear from everybody in the southern hemisphere. How was it collecting the autumn recipes for you? Because for us, it was tough. I had to put
Mhm.
in some real effort to get all of them, which luckily I managed to do it. But I don't know. I definitely feel for everybody who hasn't. And luckily, you still do have like a couple days before the snow actually comes down, so you should be able to get a lot of acorn and pinecone recipes still, but they're rare. They're pretty rare,
Mhm.
as we've
Mhm.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess as far as me, I definitely have been playing more. But even more than just like playing as myself, because most of the time I'm just like doing my own thing on my island and everything. But with this month, more than ever, I'm just like, what's at your shop? Can I come over? Let me play with you and visit your place. And so, like, this month has really been that month that says, this, I'm gonna play with people. That's all that can be done at this point, and you're gonna have to deal with it. I just want to go and visit your place and shop. So let me do that. I'll open mine up too. I've even like opened up my place just so a friend could come and what's the word? Catalog a lot of the toys that I've gotten because I've been able to go to so many different places and get so many
Hmm.
more toys. I'm still missing quite a few, but yeah, it's kind of nice to be like, yo, yeah, I've got a bunch of things for you. Check them out, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think this month has been the one that's like brought me back to like, yeah, I want to play with everybody. That's how this game should be played.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So I had fun catching up with both of you and what you've been up to on your islands, but let's go ahead and take a look at this really awesome news, which is that Animal Crossing New Horizons has been nominated for Game of the Year. And I mean, we've pushed this conversation back just with how busy everything has been, but I think it's time to talk about it since the Game Awards are on Thursday. And I guess, somebody suggested that I stream and watch the Game Awards with everybody on Discord. So join the Haken Discord if you want to watch the Game Awards with us. I'll probably have it going then. But, anyways, Animal Crossing has been nominated for Game of the Year. Pretty insane. I think a lot of people didn't really expect it to happen, but I guess we should talk about it a little bit. First question for both of you. Did you think Animal Crossing would get nominated for Game of the Year? I guess, Sergio, do you want to chime in on this?
Yeah, and I didn't, but it's one of those realizations that when you see that it was nominated, you think, oh yeah, that makes sense. Based on everything we saw this year, the crazy, insane amount of sales and
Mm-hmm.
the way it's brought back fans and new fans, and everyone is talking about it always on Twitter and on Discord and on social media and everywhere. It definitely makes sense. I didn't at first, but yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. Like, people talked about Animal Crossing unlike any previous year, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like for a lot of people, Animal Crossing's been like oh yeah, it's a cool game, like a good life sim, solid and everything. But like this year, I think it was the life sim we all needed for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nina, I guess, what are your thoughts on this?
So I am not a big, award follower. I couldn't tell you the past winners of this award. It's completely off my radar. But of course, I was excited when I heard about the nomination and kind of looked a little more into it. Um, and totally agree with Sergio. This was a kind of a lockdown phenomenon. It brought so many new people into the game, people who probably would never have played this game were all of a sudden playing it. And it honestly changed online culture for a few months. So
Mm.
it's deserves this recognition, not because it's a cinematic masterpiece, but because it left its mark this year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I feel like it was just a game that was in the conversation for a lot of
Hmm.
people. And that isn't something that we have seen quite to this extent. At least not outside of our community, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, from my perspective, like before it came out, I don't think I thought it would. I knew that I hoped that it would,
Mm.
just because I'm
Mm.
like, I want people to appreciate one of my favorite series of all time, you know? Well, I say one of, but it's definitely my favorite. I love Animal Crossing. So I wanted it to get recognized in a way that it hadn't, and
Mm.
it's doing that with this. Like, once the game came out and seeing it become such a huge part of the world for the time that it was, I just it made sense to nominate it, It just felt like the right thing to do. And while there are definitely still people who are just like gonna refuse that and say no, this is an undeserved nomination, Animal Crossing is boring and everything. And maybe even some fans who are, they're not as enamored by this game as previous Animal Crossing titles. So I don't know. I think there are a lot of people out there who are gonna say, yeah, maybe it's not the best. But for me, I don't know. I feel like it being so front and center for a little while, and just in general, the amount of time I've put into it, it felt right to be
Mhm.
nominated.
Mhm.
Yeah. So my next question for both of you is, do you think Animal Crossing could win Game of the
Mm.
Year? Sergio, I'm really excited to hear your answer here.
I don't think it would. Unfortunately, I think the Game Awards they have an image to keep, and for the audience that they have, they're probably gonna go with the typical game as the winner. Um, I mean, it's nice to be nominated. I think maybe if Animal Crossing keeps staying as awesome as it is and keeps getting nominated, maybe the next one might. But yeah, this one I don't see it winning. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of right there with you. Like, I would love if it did, but somehow I feel like that gamer mentality doesn't really see Animal Crossing as a game of the year type of game.
Right.
Um, a lot of other people who maybe, I don't know, sometimes gatekeep a lot more than some other gamers do are just like, no, Animal Crossing is not the kind of game that would do that. Or it's not the kind of game that deserves to win Game of the Year. It doesn't have all of these things. And I don't know. I feel like to some extent you can joke about that. I don't know if you both have ever watched this video called uh, I think it's called Academy Award nominated movie, and it's just a trailer for a movie that makes fun of everything that's ever been nominated for an Academy Award at the Oscars for Best Picture. Um, so I don't know. I feel like a game doesn't necessarily. I don't know. I don't know how to define what should be a game of the year game, but for me, to a big extent, I think it just needs to be pretty fun. you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm right there with you though, Sergio. Like, I think a lot of the gaming community is probably looking at Animal Crossing like, no, I don't think
Mm,
so.
mm.
Yeah. So I guess what do you think, Nina?
I mean, you guys know that I'm a cynical unbeliever. That so I'm right on board. Unfortunately, I'm right on board with you guys. I don't think it'll win. I think a nomination is honestly enough. Um, it just doesn't tick those boxes that you were saying before. There's no cinematic cut screens. There's no sweeping score. It's not over the top realism that catches those mainstream gamer eyes. So it's gonna continue to be our little I guess I can't really call it an indie game because it's huge and Nintendo makes it, but it almost feels that way to me. We've always been like this kind of underground
Yeah.
grassroots community, so it really is enough for me at least that we've been nominated.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's totally a huge deal too. Like, I definitely expected it to take that like family game of the year nomination and
Mm.
probably most likely win, which it will probably do for that.
Mhm.
Um, which I don't know. That's always a weird nomination for the Game Awards where people are like, what makes it a family game? I don't know. It's family friendly, basically.
Soft
Um,
edges.
yeah, yeah. So I think like it makes sense to expect it for this type of game, but yeah, the Game of the Year nomination is definitely enough. I feel like a lot of people didn't really see Animal Crossing as this game that becomes the bestseller of the year, you know?
Mm,
It's really at an insane point for the game. One that we didn't really think was possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my next question is, and maybe this isn't quite accurate for for everybody, but what makes New Horizons the game of the year for you? And then this might not be accurate for you, Sergio, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it is. I mean, I've expressed on the podcast that I have some complaints with the game, mostly comparing it to New Leaf and how New Leaf was complete from the get go, and New Horizons, it's getting there and it's still getting there and it's gonna be getting there probably for a few years. Um, but aside from that, I played two really really good games this year. Right before it, actually, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Ori 2, and those two might be one of those might be my game of the year. I haven't really sat down to really decide how I feel about Animal Crossing nowadays.
Mm.
I mean, I'm definitely playing more now than before, and as time goes by, I get more used to why things are happening, why the game was done this way, and why it's getting sort of piecemeal in a way.
Hmm.
Yeah, I still need to sit down and decide before the year is over.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You gotta take your time to figure it out. But I'm really glad you mentioned like the other games that you liked because I was gonna ask you like, what did you feel you enjoyed better than Animal Crossing? So yeah, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah. I mean, Dragon Ball Z, I love the franchise, and the game itself is really good. So it's like two really good things that I love combined into one. So it definitely skyrocketed that one. And the sequel to Ori, it's one of my favorite games ever. It definitely has my favorite boss fight of any game ever. So yeah, those two
Mm,
were definitely landmarks for me.
Mm.
that's awesome. That's good to hear. So I guess Nina, is Animal Crossing your game of the year, and what makes it so?
I mean, definitely for me. It's more than my game of the year, you know. It's probably my favorite game ever also. And that's because of how often I come back to it. I my gaming routine normally is a little problematic. Like I will play until my eyes hurt and beat a game as quickly as possible within a couple weeks, maybe a month of playing. Either that and I get completely engrossed, either that or I'm totally bored and only play for a couple days and then never go back to it. And Animal Crossing is one of the ones that I come back to for years and years. So that's really saying something for me because it's just not the way I play video games usually. So it's just it's just like home. You can come back to it whenever you need to. It's always there for you. I love it. That's why it's the game for me. My game
So
of
is
the
it
year.
so is it safe to say it even beats out Sea of Thieves?
Oh man, Sea of Thieves. They're different experiences. That's an online game. Does that count? I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't.
you definitely turned Sea of Thieves into an Animal Crossing
I
game at some
did.
point.
It did. I mean, it still is Animal Crossing for me. But that I've also only played Sea of Thieves since late this summer. So I it definitely can't beat out Animal Crossing because I've been playing it so much longer.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
Still a very good game though.
Yeah, I
And
know,
Donkey
I
Kong
know.
Country too.
Yeah, classic. Which I think is playable on the Switch Online, right?
It is. It is. Yeah. That
That's good.
score is unreal.
Yeah. Awesome. So I guess for me, I mean, come on. Nobody starts an Animal Crossing podcast who doesn't love it. Well, I don't know. Maybe some people do just to hate on it, but I think for the most part, a lot of people who really love Animal Crossing have liked starting an Animal Crossing podcast like that. Um, but yeah, I would say overall, the 800 and some hours I've played the game and the fact that I just want to log in and play it all the time makes it my game of the year pretty
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd also say, like, what made it really special was just all of the time I got to spend with friends on the game, especially after being like locked down and everything. We have some friends who we would see pretty regularly here where we live. We'd just like go out to dinner or just hang out, and that kind of stopped with the whole pandemic and everything. So we would hang out in Animal Crossing and just chat and everything. So it was nice to get at least some connection through that game and everything. So
Mm.
I don't know, it just feels like the game came out when we needed it and it was very special the entire time.
Yeah, I don't even want to imagine this year without it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It'd have been a painful year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very hard year, a lot harder than we would have wanted it to
Yeah.
be.
Hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I guess I have one more question for both of you, and that is, what would you like to see from Animal Crossing next year? And I guess I didn't really specify. I guess I just assumed you would understand that I meant New Horizons. But yeah, I guess, Nina, what would you like to see?
I want to see, well, continue to see Nintendo deepen the user experience and kind of broaden that representation. I think that they need to keep coming out with more hairstyles, more skin colors. The more they can broaden their fan base and make their players feel like their little character is actually them living on that perfect island, the better this game is going to get. So not just more holidays and more items, but more for the people.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that just because you're totally right. We did have a really cool update that gave us a lot more inclusive features for our hair and skin and everything. So it's really nice to have that grow and feel like that Nintendo's really trying to make it reach as many people as possible through a lot of these updates. So yeah, I think that's a great point. So Sergio, I guess what would you want to see?
I want to see unexpected features added through updates. It would be nice to get either everything or most of everything from New Leaf. But if we get unexpected things added, to give you an example, one of my favorite things that they added that a lot of people wanted, but it's one of those things that you ask for, but you kind of know it probably won't happen. But when they added the ability for us to sit down like the villagers do, I love that so much. So things like that. A lot of people want to be able to hug their villagers. That would be so amazing to me. Like, I want to see those type of things added, things that people ask for, and that we think they probably wouldn't do, but Nintendo listens and they care sometimes, and we get good things sometimes. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, and I think everybody agrees with you too. The sitting down is incredible.
That's a game changer.
Yes.
It truly changed the game for everybody. It's the way to do it. Just let us sit down in every game.
Yeah.
Let us pet the dog.
Let us pet the dog. Yeah. Yeah, as far as me, I want to see a pretty big 2.0 update. Like, I want to see some, like you, Sergio, some real surprises with features that come to the game. And even more, I want to see, instead of returning characters, I mean, we could still get some here and there, but I want to see some brand new characters. When the game came out, we were all pretty fascinated seeing CJ and Flick in those like really blurry photos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we were all kind of wondering like who are these characters and everything. Like I want some more surprises like that to come out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, surely Tortimer has some younger family member out there that can replace him, right?
Yeah. Bring us Crimson and Carmine. We need them.
Yes. They would be perfect. They are so cute. Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think it's been a really nice year with Animal Crossing, whether it's your game of the year or not. I think it left a really good impression on the world, Like things can be at least a little bit happier with the game in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, before we end the show, I want to hop over to our Haken's Islander Corner and read some of their questions here. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read some of their answers out loud. This week's question was, have December and winter items been bringing you back to the game? So I guess we'll go Sergio, then Nina, then me.
Okay.
Sounds good. The first answer is from Indira Hood Esparza. They said, it honestly gives me something to look forward to every day. Even if I do not play for hours on end, it's so nice to be able to stop by the stores and look at the new items. Yes, definitely. The clothing, especially because it goes with the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100.
I've been waiting for the clothing for so long, so I'm right there with checking the shops too.
Allie Becker says, I just started playing in August, so I'm still riding high on my initial introduction to the game.
Hmm.
But I've been absolutely enamored with all the that winter has to bring, especially the adorable coats, hats, and sweaters. Yes, everyone's on the same page here. All the clothes, everyone loves winter clothes in real life and in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's just so cozy. What's
Mhm.
not to like?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So our next answer is from Rinbop, and they said, like many others here, I've been playing consistently at least a little bit every day, but I'll admit I was frustrated at the end of November because for the first time since New Horizons release, I was unable to get all the recipes. This is especially disheartening because the mushroom slash fall recipes were the ones I've been most excited for all year. However, now that it's a new month and season, seeing all the cute new items and clothing has helped keep me excited about the game, and reminds me that it's okay not to get everything we want the very first year we play. I'm thankful and excited for the new items ahead and for the ones I'm still searching for. There's always next year.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I love this answer just because, we talked about this. Like, people had a lot of trouble with the recipes, but I think it's important to note that even though you may have missed some, there's always next year. You can
Yeah.
always go for it again next year. I know, Sergio, you are a big proponent to that, really
Yeah.
not going overboard with trying to get everything and saving some stuff for year two, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Nice. We have an answer from Squee of Tortuga. I believe they're in the southern hemisphere, and they said, I confess I was starting to get a little bored near the end of November. I still played every day, but just to see who the visitor was and to do my usual daily stuff. I was super ready for December to bring new bugs and fish, but I'm not that excited by the summer items as I already got most of them through trading earlier in the year. So I'm mostly fishing at the moment until Toy Day starts happening. I cannot wait to catch my first shark. Nice.
Mhm. How
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, and I think they are totally in the southern hemisphere, and I totally get it. It did get a little bit boring by the end of summer because
Yeah.
summer, for us, I feel like it was kind of carried by the updates. Like a lot of the bigger things that we could do in the summer did come through like new features in the updates. Whereas right now, this time of year, the updates are doing a lot better in the sense of like there are some new recipes coming, but the seasonal stuff isn't quite there for anybody in the southern hemisphere.
Mhm.
And the seasonal stuff in the summer is just, I felt overall kind of lacking. Like there weren't a lot of DIYs. There was only the one new, I guess, what's the word? New crafting material, the summer shells.
Right. Right.
Whereas we're overloaded in the fall. There's acorns, there's pine cones,
Yeah.
there's maple leaves. There's a whole lot of stuff to collect. And then winter is going to be the same way, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get the
Mm.
boredom.
Mhm. T with T says, I can't wait to log on every day to see what new items are in my stores. I am definitely more excited as I see the snow too. So
Yes.
again, right on board with us. The stores, amazing. The snow, amazing. I can't wait. It's beautiful when it's falling. I love it, even though there's not snow on the ground. It's just, ugh, I love it.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So our last answer is from Rachel Crossing, and they said, the winter items have for sure brought me back to the game. I was so inspired by the new cozy items like the kids' tent to do a complete rebuild of my island. It's been so much fun decorating my island to match the different holidays. It definitely feels like this is a living game that always has new things to keep us coming back. And I'm really glad that this is their feeling to it, just because, like, I've described it as a living game in the past where it's just like, it may not be complete quite yet, but we're going to get to see a lot of cool things happen in real time as these updates come out. So it's nice to see people enjoying some of the new stuff that's coming to the game and getting back into it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fun show, everybody. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
talking to you about and hearing all the changes coming to your islands.
Oh, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens on Thursday with the Game Awards.
That's true. I mean, who knows? We may be the game of the year at this point. I say we as if we had anything to do with that.
Oh, we did. And we were there in spirit.
Yeah, we are the people who enjoyed playing.
We, the Animal Crossing people.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChuiPlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chuy Plays. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tuned in on YouTube, the comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. Have December and winter items been bringing you back to the game? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is a Wild production brought to you by Chuy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.